Okay. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم صلاة والسلام على خاتم الأنبياء سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم. This is Shawwal 2017, right after Ramadan. And our topic today is the journey of mercy, life after Ramadan, and reaping Shawwal rewards. First of all, I just want to say to everyone, Ahlan Sahlan, we've missed you. And I hope you had a wonderful Ramadan. Some of you I was seeing in the middle of the night in Ramadan. Some of you I saw on Facebook Live once in a while. But it's really good to be back. And I'm happy to see you all here. And I hope that your health is good and your post-Ramadan family activities and summer activities and work activities and all the rest are good and wonderful, and you're having and you've recovered from Ramadan jet lag. Do you all get Ramadan jet lag? I get Ramadan jet lag. The change of schedule and all night. So for a month we stay up all night. At least that's what I was doing, and trying to sleep in the morning. And then after Ramadan, we try to sleep a little bit at night. So we get, that's called Ramadan jet lag. Anyway, alhamdulillah. All right, so what I want to talk about today is preserving. Actually, I really want to talk about this word, this sentence, a journey of mercy, because I really like it. I like the idea of a journey of mercy. I really like the idea that to remember post-Ramadan that this life and everything that we're doing in it is a journey of mercy, that it's not about hardship, it's not about pain. And though there is pain, and though there is hardship, that every single bit of hardship has a covering of mercy, has mercy around it. And it's up to us to look for that mercy and to feel comfortable in that mercy and to sort of douse ourselves in the bath of mercy, excuse me, that we find ourselves in. It was an extremely violent and tragic Ramadan. And sometimes we think that this is the worst Ramadan ever, or this is the worst stage of violence of the world ever, or this is the worst time of history ever. And I think really that if we are thinking like that, we're mistaken, because we forget that history repeats itself. There is no time that was worse or better than this. Every time comes and goes, and every life experiences an amount of betrayal, an amount of pain, an amount of tragedy. And we learn as individuals how to interact with that. And people of faith learn how to access the relationship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so that they can interact with that in a healthy way. You'll find that those who are not connected to faith are those who are always struggling the most in interacting with life as it is. Life as it is not easy. Sometimes it's glorious. Sometimes it's so joyful and so glorious. But sometimes it's horrible and terrible. All of those instances are instances when the human being needs Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether in hardship or in ease, whether in great love or in great pain or betrayal. Whether we look upon the world and say, how can the human being be so horrible? Or whether we look upon the world and say, how can the human being be so wonderful? However we are living, it's the space of faith that we need to survive it. It's a space of faith that is the journey of mercy. We can live in this life with this life as it is, as difficult or hard, plain old hard as it might be, as long as we live in faith and as long as we live in this journey of mercy. So we just finished Ramadan, and Ramadan was a month when whatever you were doing, however you spent your month, you were spending it building up taqwa. So right now you have more taqwa than you had in the month before Ramadan. Perhaps that's affecting how you make your decisions. Perhaps that's affecting how you live your life. Perhaps it's making very small, detailed changes in your life, but those detailed changes will make all the difference later. We make a mistake, and sometimes I think it's shaitan that wants us to make this mistake. We make a mistake sometimes thinking that what we need is a big change. What we need is a huge change. And we bury ourselves in this space of I'm bad, I'm not good, I'm not worthy. All of that is a space of shaitan. So when you are in that space, you've become friends with shaitan, and that is not, while it's good and healthy to be self-reflective, it's neither good nor healthy to bury yourself in a place that is a journey of, what's the opposite of mercy? A journey of cold, unforgiving anger. That's not our journey. We are on a journey of mercy, in a journey of love. So if you find yourself in a place of despair, know that you are on a different journey, and come back. Come back to the journey of mercy. This journey of mercy that we call Islam has been around since the beginning of time. Every single prophet was on this journey of mercy, this journey of Islam. And Nuh alayhi salam, when he spoke to his people, what did he say to them? وَأُمِرْتُ أَنْ أَكُونَ مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. I was ordered to be of those who are Muslims. So it started with Nuh, even before. But in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that it started with Nuh. So that's a long time ago. And that's a really important reflection. That even at that time, things were the same. Because if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was asking the prophets at that time to be Muslims, to call people to Islam, to the essence of this faith, then we know that the human being at that time needed what the human being at this time needs. We have Ibrahim and Ismail. رَبَّنَا وَجَعَلْنَا مُسْلِمَيْنَ لَكَ. Making dua. Ya Allah, make us Muslims to you. So it continues. Nuh, Ibrahim, Ismail. We have also Yaqub. إِنَّ اللَّهَ اسْتَفَى لَكُمُ الدِّينَ فَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. Speaking to his sons. Don't die but that you are Muslims. That's a very interesting one to his sons. But we're not talking about prophets today. But just this idea that Islam has been our journey of mercy, our journey of need since the very beginning, and continues to be so today. This is what we need, and it's what we need to hold on to. The Prophet ﷺ also brought us on this journey of mercy, this journey of Islam. And we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala named this journey finally at the end of all these prophets, named this وَرَضِيتُ لَكُمُ الْإِسْلَامَ دِينًا. Named this beautiful religion Islam. This way, this journey, whatever you want to call it. Brother Ali at our This Is America celebration the other day, he said, I don't want to use the word religion because people who use the word religion often have ego. My God, it was so much wisdom in that. It's so true. Often people use the word religion, who talk about having a religious life. They bring in ego and they think they're better than other people. He said, I want to use the word traditions instead, the spiritual traditions. And when I think about this word Islam, it is a tradition. It is a tradition of how we've lived our lives. It is a journey of mercy. Excuse me, us and our ancestors and those who came before and those who came before. Those who were successful in living this life, in surviving and thriving, even through war, crime, economic desperation, the death of children, the death of parents, the death of friends, illness, maiming and disease, betrayal. All of these are human things. In fact, today we have less disease, less death, less war, believe it or not, than existed in most times that came before. So wherever you are, you're in a place and in history where the human being is privileged now. We are more privileged. We have that which we need to help us. This journey of mercy that we're promised, that we're told will help us on this way, consists of 5 pillars. Those 5 pillars are the things that we use to stand up with. The first is Ramadan. We just finished it. Well, not the first in the hadith, but the first I'm going to talk about is Ramadan. And that's the one that we just completed. So congratulations, you've built a pillar, whether you fasted or not. And so if you didn't fast because you were ill or traveling, or some of you, I know you got your period for 15 days and you're feeling like, man, half of Ramadan, I didn't even fast. It doesn't matter. You were still in Islam, in Ramadan. As you obeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in not fasting, as you benefited from Ramadan in that obedience. So you built that pillar. That pillar belongs to you. That pillar right now, you have this pillar of your faith, pillar of mercy, pillar of this tradition, this wisdom tradition, this spiritual tradition that is going to cure you and walk you, continue on this road of mercy. So you can be a person who feels mercy, and even more importantly than feels it, gives it. So you're not a person who feels sorry for yourself and throws yourself in a pity party as though you're the only one who ever had trouble. No, you're not. Not only are you not the only one who ever had trouble, people had much more trouble before you. And even today, people have much more trouble than you. However much trouble you have. And most of the people, you don't know what trouble they're going through. You look at people on Facebook, and you look at people on Twitter, and you look at people on Instagram. Oh my God, on Instagram. And the smiles, and the beautiful pictures, and the this and the that, and everyone loves them, and they look at them, and they open Instagram the first thing, and they scroll through all these smiles and quotes and this and that. But there's no real life there. There's no real life there. Don't mistake what you see in a picture for being someone else's life. I could take a picture of you anytime and match it to anyone else's picture, and still it would not be your life. So be careful of that comparison and imagining somehow that you're not on a journey of mercy while somebody else is. So you've got that pillar. You've got that pillar. And there are 4 more. The second one that we're going to talk about today is Hajj. Well, actually, I want to talk about Ramadan a little bit more. Ramadan is, now that we're in Shawwal, Ramadan is completed in the Sunnah fast of Shawwal. Now, these 6 days of fasting of Shawwal, I'm going to leave this to the end of the talk because usually there's a lot of questions around them. I'm going to run over that fiqh right at the end. So if you have questions about it, you can hang on till then. Or if you need to go, you can wait for the recording. Hajj is coming up. If you have not already applied for your visa for Hajj, that probably means you're not going. Allah has all of His miracles, you never know. But those are special days. And in Eid, we just celebrated Eid, your personal accomplishment. But in this other Eid, which will happen on Labor Day weekend, so you've got a little time off, which will happen Labor Day weekend, in this second Eid, we will be celebrating the accomplishment of our ummah. That's what Hajj is. Hajj, of course, is the intention to go once in your life. So if you have never made an intention, make it right now. If you just make the intention, you've completed that pillar. I don't care if you don't have any money, if you're in debt, wherever you are in your life, make the intention of going on Hajj. And then inshallah, if you die tomorrow, God forbid, you will have fulfilled that pillar. But I want us to understand the pillars. So Ramadan is our individual pillar. Ramadan is our pillar, the pillar of journey of mercy that gives us strength in the year. And it wasn't easy to fast all those hours. Some of you, even me, I was fasting 19 hours. Some of you were 20, some of you were 21. It's a long day and a short night. We were running to eat enough, running to drink enough, running to pray enough at night. But you've got it now. It's your pillar. Hajj is coming. If you're not going, first of all, if you're going, Allah yabarak fiki. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you Hajj mabrur. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you the Hajj of your dreams. And may you remember us in your prayers there, inshallah. If you're not going, don't lose those days, the 10 days before the Eid of our ummah. Join your Hajji folk in extra worship here. It's not the same as going on Hajj, but you're benefiting from it. And the because Hajj is an ummah activity, so it's even if you're not going on Hajj, someone else has gone, and when we celebrate the Eid, we're celebrating actually their Hajj. We're celebrating their accomplishment. They're not back yet. We're celebrating the people at Umrah, at Hajj, the people that are there. So think about that and start now to plan your Eid. Plan the Udhiyah, plan the Eid that you're going to do. Plan to join us in the Pilgrims at Home competition if you haven't done that before. If you don't know what that is, just keep a lookout for those advertisements. It's a game that we play every year. Start thinking about your team, who's going to be on your team. All of this to help you build that second pillar in our journey of mercy. In our journey of mercy. You have the taqwa of Ramadan, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so generous because right after that, He gives us Shawwal, then He gives us Dhul Qa'dah, and then He gives us Dhul Hijjah. And Dhul Qa'dah, Dhul Hijjah, and Muharram, which comes after that, are months of sacred months. They're Haram, they're sacred months. So that by itself is a beauty, but we'll wait to talk about that in Dhul Qa'dah, inshallah. Right now, I just want you to think about the Hajj and that pillar in your life. First, make the intention. Second, if you can't go this year, plan to join us in the Pilgrims at Home Games. Start thinking about who your team's going to be. Start gathering your family together to join in the team. They're all women teams in our competition that can win a trophy, but you can still play with your family. You can ask your mosques to play. We're happy to support mosques that are playing, children are playing, whatever. However you want to do it, we're happy to support. The idea is to benefit from these 10 days, to uplift our ummah in these 10 days, to build our Hajj pillar yearly in these 10 days, whether or not we can go to the Kaaba. So those are two of our sails in our journey of mercy over water, the sails that blow, that help us to catch the winds of mercy and move forward. The third one is zakat. Alhamdulillah, Asma, I'm glad you enjoyed it. The third one is zakat. Now, zakat is something that, again, most of you paid it last month. A lot of people set their zakat al-mal to be paid once a year in Ramadan, so they remember. Zakat means to purify. You've purified your money. If you don't have, there's a hadith, not a hadith, a dua that is often said on these long du'as that you hear online and this and that. And it's, Allah, make me of those who pay zakat. And sometimes people think that means, oh, because in case I'm not paying it. But think about it. It's not actually what it means. The assumption is that if you have enough money, you'll pay zakat. So it's really saying, Ya Allah, give me rizq, so that I'll be of those who pay zakat. Zakat is a purification of your money. So the third sail that keeps us on this journey of mercy is being forced out of stinginess, a forced generosity. It's better to be more generous, but at the very least, we ask Allah to give us money so we can give it away. Now, not everyone who's given gives, and this is scary because if you stop giving, you lose out on the journey of mercy. You walk into the journey of hardship, or whatever the opposite of mercy is. I'm still looking for that word, so if anybody thinks of it, you're welcome to put it in the chat box. Paying zakat purifies our money. And the pillar of Islam has to do with zakat al-mal. But I want to talk about our other possessions for just a minute. You possess time. You possess intelligence. You possess energy. Are you paying your zakat on these three things? Do you give at least 2.5% of your time to Islam, to the da'wah, to humanity? Do you give at least 2.5% of your intellectual capacity to Muslims, to Islam, to the da'wah? What about your energy? Do you give 2.5% of that? Fi sabilillah? Are you working on zakat of time, emotion, and energy? It's important to think about that, and hopefully you're giving more than just 2.5%, because really 2.5% is very little, very, very little. It's the farad zakat, and we want always to do sadaqah, which is more than just 2.5%. We want to do the obligation and then we want to do more because we want and need Allah's mercy on us. And when we have mercy on others financially, when we have mercy on others with our time, without being in a rush. Recently, I went grocery shopping with my son. And my son is very slow in the grocery store. And I have lived a life where, my son is 20, by the way. I've lived a life where I have attempted to work very hard to lessen the time I spend in domestic duties without giving them up. And I mean, without neglecting them, I should say, but lessen the time so that I could spend more time on working fi sabilillah, helping human beings. So I've worked to sort of lessen the grocery shopping and the cooking and the dishwashing and the floor washing and all of that so that I could work in other areas. And so this is a lifetime habit of mine. I don't spend a long time in grocery stores, and I just want to be in and out, get my list and get it done and get out of there. Also, P.S. saves a lot of money to do it that way. But the last time I went grocery shopping with my son, he was really irritated. And he was like, Mommy, you're always in such a hurry. I can't think, whatever. And I really thought about that. And I thought, am I on a journey of mercy with him? Now, he doesn't always get to dictate, of course. But this last time yesterday, I took him grocery shopping. And I purposely made sure to schedule it better so that I would be relaxed. Now, mind you, even though I told him when we had to be done, and still we were cutting it down to the wire because he's very, very slow in the grocery store. He likes to just slowly look at everything, which makes me crazy usually. But I was working very hard on giving of time. I designated the time, so there was no reason for me to be nervous about getting out of there. I said we have to leave at 2:30. We have to be at the register at, I don't know what I said, 2:15 or something like that, to make sure that we would get there. And for the most part, it worked out. Alhamdulillah. But my point here is that to think about your giving of time to your children, to people that you don't like too. So also we have to think about giving our time and our energy to people that it's not so much fun to be with. So I enjoy being with my son. I enjoy being with my daughters. I enjoy being with my granddaughter. I enjoy being with my family. But there are people out there that I don't enjoy being with, just like you. But we need to think about how we're going to give them of our time as well. Our duty is to spread Islam. Our duty is to stand as a place where people can find Islam with us. The Islam of generations, the tradition, the spiritual tradition of generations that began with Nuh alayhi salam, and ended with Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. That's our job. And so we need to reach out to people and be open, and we need to be on a journey of mercy and offering as well a journey of mercy in that concept of giving, of zakat. So as you think about that, think about building that pillar. So even if you don't have the money to give, know that you have other things to give. So build the pillar of zakat with a generous attitude, an attitude of generosity, an attitude of kindness, an attitude of plenty, and an attitude of flourishing and plenty. We are women, and if there's one thing that there is no argument about out there, it's that women give birth and men do not. And whether you are a woman who's actually given birth or not is irrelevant. Your body was originally made to do that. Now I recognize there are some biological things that maybe a woman can't, her uterus or her infertility, all of that. That's not the point I'm making here. There is something about women giving birth that is powerful. And I'm really thinking deeply right now about what does that mean in the world of attitude towards life? Because up until now, the sort of manly way we've been taught to think is that we are mortals and we die. Everyone dies. We're equal by the fact that we all die. But as women, maybe we can turn that around and say we're equal by the fact that we are all born. It's just a different attitude. Death is another kind of birth. Death is another kind of birth. Death moves us from one life to the next. So that's a bit of a off turn from zakat. But I'm just thinking about the giving, and the giving birth to more giving, and giving birth, the flourishing, the attitude of flourishing, the attitude of plenty. Don't have an attitude of I don't have enough. Don't have an attitude of when it's not enough. Have an attitude of energy gives birth to energy. Giving gives birth to giving. More and more and more gives birth to more and more and more. And just for the appropriate footnotes, there's a woman named Jansen who wrote a book called The Feminist Philosophy of Religion, and she's the one where that's where I first got this idea about natality as opposed to mortality. I don't agree with everything in that book at all, so don't just to know that. But this idea of flourishing, I feel like it's so Islamic. This idea of flourishing and plenitude. All right, alhamdulillah. All right, so let's go to number 4. So number 4 in our pillar is our journey of mercy in this tradition of faith that has been around for centuries is prayer. It's prayer, our salah. And our prayer is the thing that's going to keep us in that space of psychological health. So in Joy Dots, I actually opened up Joy Dots today because I was going to do a Facebook Live. I remembered that I wrote in here an essay called The Fasting of Shawwal. And I wrote it partially because every year I get the same questions about Shawwal. So I thought, if I put this in the book, I can just say, go look it up on page 199, week 40, Fasting of Shawwal. But as I was looking at that, the next one after that is also talking about Shawwal, and it's talking about taqwa and holding on to taqwa. And it reminded me of these 2 really funny stories I had when I walking in mud. And one of them, I was in England. Oh my God, how much I love England. I was in England. My students had gotten this lovely cabin up north, and we were up there, and then we decided to go for a walk. And so they had wellies for me. Those of you who are in America who don't know what wellies are, they're boots that go all the way up to your knees, but they're not winter boots, so they don't keep your feet warm. They just keep them dry. And you look at them and you think, oh, that's so silly. Why are they so worried about having boots all the way up to your knee? So we went for a walk in the fields. And if you go for a walk in the fields, it looks like grass. So it looks like the grass behind my house. It looks like grass anywhere. Just this grass out there that is easy to walk in. Do not be deceived. It's a very, very deceptive. Very deceptive. So we're walking along and it's just wet. Of course, it rains all the time in England, right? So it's wet and we're sort of sloshing. I had one coat, the coat that I was wearing out was the one I was supposed to wear the next day to my, had these lectures that we were doing. And so I'm like holding it up so that it doesn't get wet. And then and then I'm walking again, it's grass, okay? And I take a step and I kid you not, my foot went all the way down up to my knee into mud. Now, you wouldn't even imagine. It's like snow. It's like mud that is snow. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I had one young woman in front of me and one young woman behind me. And I fell. I fell on one of them and the other one fell on me. I suppose I fell on the one in front of me. I can't really remember actually. And then they had to literally pull me out of the mud. Okay? Literally pull me out of the mud. By the time we got to the top of this hill, my skirt was brown and my coat was covered in mud and my face had splashes of mud all over it. And the UK girls do you remember who I fell on? I was with Hannah and Anna Maria. I remember that. And I fell on somebody and somebody else fell on me. Hannah, I fell on Hannah. Poor Hannah. I hope you've recovered. That's a while ago. And so I got pulled out, right? And I'm just covered in mud. But this is life, ya Habibat. This is life. This is life. you think everything looks safe and everything looks normal and everything looks good and everything looks like grass. It's so easy to walk in. So you decide not to wear your wellies. Now imagine if I didn't wear my wellies. Those old wellies, they weren't actually my wellies, my borrowed wellies. Imagine if I didn't wear them. Imagine my whole leg would have been stuck in the mud. And this is life. As you walk along and you're walking and looking at this grass, it looks easy. It's not. And the only thing that will protect you daily is the salah. Is the salah. And we talk about mud, a lot of times we talk about mud like sin and everything else. It's not just sin. It's pain. It's depression. It's feeling frustrated. It's feeling like you can't get moving. All of those things. Pay attention to your prayer. Pay attention to your prayer. Pay attention to your prayer. Try to have khushu' in your prayer. Try to settle in your prayer. وَأَحْسَنْ وُقُوفُنَا بَيْنِ يَدَيْكَ, we say in our dua, to make better our standing before you. So that as we stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we can settle in it. If you ever did yoga, or if you've ever done yoga, there's this time of just settling into the yoga. That's what you need to do with prayer. That's what wuquf is. That's why wuquf is important. Standing. You say Allahu Akbar and you stand and you settle into your prayer. Feel your feet in the ground. And that 5 times a day will protect you from falling in the mud. Or at least if you fall in the mud, it will help you. It'll be like your washing machine and your shower. So you don't feel stuck in that mud. Can you imagine if I got stuck in the mud? I would still be out there. I swear, if I was out there by myself without Anna Marie and Hannah, I would still be there. I would be food for the cows. Or maybe something else for the cows. But because I was stuck. I was stuck down inside the mud. And prayer gets you out of the stuck places. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it does. Sometimes prayer feels like nothing but the emotions that you're going through. Sometimes prayer, you can't even do it out loud. Sometimes you barely feel like praying. Sometimes you feel like, why should I pray? I'm not feeling it. Don't let shaitan come and say that to you, whatever you do. Put your wellies on. Put your prayer on. Take your prayer, the 4th pillar, and hold on to your Islam, the tradition of Islam, without the ego. No ego here, no ego. No ego about, oh, I pray. Look at me, I pray more than you. Look at me, I pray tahajjud. Look at me, I do this. We don't need an ego today. We have enough ego to fill, I don't know what. We have so much ego out there. We don't need ego. But the spiritual tradition of Islam that has been around, that our Prophet ﷺ perfected for us, taught us how to live in these prayers. Hold on to them and build that 4th pillar. Build that 4th pillar. And the 5th pillar of our journey of mercy, the 5th sail in our journey of mercy, is to say and to mean, La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, Muhammad Rasulullah. These 2 sentences are some of the most important dhikrs that we can ever say. And now in Shawwal, as we wait for Hajj, I highly recommend you spend time in both saying La ilaha illallah and Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. The different tariqas or different ways of dhikr that you see out there in the different studies of how to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have a number of different recommendations. They all include the repetition of His name. Allah, 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 Allahu. Yesterday at daybreak, we had a couple of women come in and sing, and they're called tentatively tea time, and they usually do Irish songs, but they also did some songs from the Jarahi Tariqa and a song of Uwais al-Qarni. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. Each time they had something that was meant to be a testimony to Islam. It included Allah's name. La ilaha illallah. In our journey of mercy, we have gone from monthly, once in a lifetime, yearly, that's zakat, daily, our prayer. Now we are at every moment of our day. This is our journey of mercy. That every moment of our day, we can reap the reward of life after Ramadan, the connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by saying La ilaha illallah, by saying Allah, by saying Astaghfirullah, by saying Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad, by saying Subhanallah, by saying Alhamdulillah. Any of these phrases of praise, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, Hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakil, ni'mal mawla wa ni'mal nasir. Each one of the 99 names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, each of these has its own beauty and strength in it. And our greatest sale, the sale that if you become a Muslim you start with, the sale that when a child is born, we call to them the adhan, we call to them La ilaha illallah, Muhammadan Rasulullah. And when we die, when we are born to that next life, we move to the next life with La ilaha illallah. It is these phrases that sustain us. As you go upon your day, as you walk along your journey of your day, grocery shopping, wherever you are, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. And in these 5 sales, your life will be part of a spiritual tradition that is a journey of mercy that has been part of our history forever. And you will be able to survive the ugly news. You'll be able to survive personal tragedy. You'll be able to survive betrayal. You'll be able to survive personal pain. You'll be able to survive. You'll be able to enjoy joys and happiness, to see mercy, to be patient in these 5 sales that push us on our journey of mercy. Is the space of what it means to be a woman of faith. It's the difference in walking in this world, between walking in this world all alone and walking in this world with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and with the angels and ghosts of Muslims around you. By ghosts, I don't mean real ghosts. I mean the presence of people around you, the feeling of the presence of people around you. When you are alone, you're never alone. And when you are with people, you're never overwhelmed. If you have these 5 sales. And it's these sales that we need to share with the rest of the world. It's these sales that we need to open. We need to open them up and get on the ships with everybody else. Bring everybody else on our ship with a loving, merciful invitation, with creative invitations. However we can do it. However we can do it. Get them on that boat with us. Inshallah. All right. Well, alhamdulillah. That's our journey of mercy. And I have a couple of announcements to make before you go. One of them is that we have, could our admins fix these, please? I'm just going to talk about them. You fix them. We have Arabic coming up. Or no, it's already started, I think, intensive Arabic for the summer. I really, really encourage you. If you are a beginner and you don't read Arabic yet, get in on this class. This is going to take you, look at the 13th to August 31st. It's nothing. It's nothing. Get in on this class. It's going to change your life. I remember when I learned how to read Arabic. It's really life-changing. Trust me on this. And it's short. It's not a lifetime commitment. From this class, everything will change. You'll be able to read Quran if you want to. You'll be able to, it's going to make all the difference in your life. If you already know, call up someone who doesn't know and get them to join this class. Really, really, I strongly, strongly advise you to not only do the class, but to advise other people and bring other people in for the class. All right. That's our summer. That's our summer program. Actually, it's just Arabic this summer. And again, I highly, highly recommend. Now, for some fun, I am so actually we have a retreat coming up, which I think you know about, and you could stick in the Rabata retreat flyer. Actually, that's closed. So, but just so you know about it, I want you to feel like you know about it. Inshallah, you can come next year if you missed out this year. This year is our second annual Rabata retreat. It's in the Shire in the woods, up in northern Minnesota. It's absolutely beautiful, so spiritual. It's amazing, actually, and it's a Rabata retreat. So we also have some learning there. It's focused on relationship building, learning, and community dawah. Okay, that's what it's built on, and it's just very, very exciting. Now, actually, this year we have some UK folk coming, and oh, I'm getting a note on the side that if you have serious interest in retreat, you can still register for a waiting list. Is that what that is? To help us gauge the numbers for next year. Okay, so go ahead. If you have interest in the retreat, go ahead and put your name on there. At least you'll get a so we'll know how many spaces we need for next year. Okay, excellent. Good point. The Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. I forgot what I was saying though. Oh yeah. So we have 3 women coming from the UK who are part of 5 sisters who sing. And we also have Ragad from California, Canada coming down. She also sings. But I have to admit that mostly I was thinking about these poor girls coming all the way from the UK, plus our registrar who comes all the way from Dubai and visits, and they're coming for this retreat, right? And it's going to be great. And they're going to sing for us in the retreat, and it's going to be wonderful, and all of this. But I was thinking, what else are we going to do? And so what we decided to do is to take Ribat on the road, and I'm really excited about it. It's the Growing Hope tour, and I feel like after sort of the heaviness of the past few months, we need to grow some hope. And we're going to Milwaukee, Chicago, Detroit, Toronto, Buffalo, Columbus, and Madison. Detroit is a really quick stop, and it might actually end up being in Canton, but it's in that area. So if you are in any of those areas or nearby any of those areas, absolutely pay attention so you can join us. We're going to have a show. So the girls are going to sing the songs in Nasheed by the Hakim sisters and Ragad as well. Your Arabic teacher, Anse Tamara Gray, and I'm going to talk to you about life lessons from the mothers of the believers, and we're going to register for Ribat classes. We're also going to have books for sale, so you'll be able to get books, especially if you're in Toronto, you'll be able to get books without postage. Woo-hoo! And anywhere else as well. You can buy books from us. And we'll have our Joy Dots and Drummer Girl and Sophie's Journal and Brainstorms for sale as well. And yeah. So that's exciting. I'm super excited about that. It's going to be a Hope Trip. Yep, it's a Hope Trip road trip. And actually, hashtag Hope Trip is the hashtag. Hashtag Hope Trip. Is that on the flyer? The hashtag? It should be. All right, so that's happening. And I am also going to be in Chicago for the Worth D. Muhammad Convention. I'm not speaking, but we'll have a table. So if you're in Chicago, come and join us there. Also, do we have the Drummer Girl announcement here? If we could put the Drummer Girl announcement on. Oh, actually, before the Drummer Girl, let's put the Faith Friends in the camp. So after this Growing Hope, then I travel overseas, and we'll be doing, can you put it up, guys, ladies? Here we go. We'll be doing Friends, Fun, and Faith, which is our yearly camp for youth in the UK. It's a camp for Muslim girls, and we're super excited about that as well. And it's a wonderful camp, Friends, Fun, and Faith. It's so much fun. As you can see, there's cooking, drama. What else we got? Drumming with the Pearls of Islam. Spoken word with Hanan Isa. Wow. Archery, which I did last year. It's amazing. It's archery with an actual Scottish woman. Okay, like how cool is that? It's so cool. We have movie night, martial arts, and prayer under the stars. Oh my goodness. Last year I got stung by a bee. That's a whole nother story. Don't worry. It's not a bee place. So this will be happening from August 18th to August 21st. Mostly we do have girls from the UK, but if you are interested in your daughters from the United States or Canada, go ahead and register, and you can talk with the camp people who are running it, and we'll figure you out. Okay, maybe you could volunteer or something. All right, and finally, our great announcement for Drummer Girl, which is that we just received a really important award. It's the Literary Classics Award in the children's category for Best Culture Book and Best Illustrator. We won gold. That's amazing. We won 2 Literary Classics Awards. This is actually a really, really big deal. And we're a publishing company that only has 4 books published so far, which is almost unheard of that we could get 2 awards in at this level. We have to publish another book before we can get into Publishers Weekly. So this is amazing. It shows the amazingness of our volunteer team. We have 1 employee and everybody else is volunteer. But let me tell you, they're all being paid with Allah. Even our employee is severely underpaid. But it's a great, amazing team. And they work so hard because they believe in the life-changing, the cultural changing effects of these books. And that I believe in them too. I'm on the team. And so we're going to have this book. We have the other books coming up. Dr. Sadia's Crowning Venture. We have one coming up before that, which is actually, I haven't announced it. We haven't announced it yet, but I'll just announce it sort of secretly here, which is the translation of the Mukhtasar Al-Jami' Al-Siri. So those of you who have studied or learned the Mukhtasar Al-Jami' Al-Siri from Anse Tamara Gray, that incredible book, the original of which won both an award at Oxford and from the Prince of Brunei. We have translated it, and it will be published in August, inshallah, in 2 volumes. We don't know yet how many pages it's turning out to be, but it's really, each volume is going to be hundreds, like about 400 or 500 pages. It's an amazing detailed book of the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I'm really excited about that one. That's a 7-year project that my sister-in-law and I and Anse Tamara, a very good friend of mine, the 3 of us have been working on, and it's finally done, and I'm so excited. Alhamdulillah. Daybreak will be publishing it, and so look for that and make dua for us that we get it done on. That it's actually done from us. It's just with the typesetter, but we're waiting for all that stuff, and a little bit impatiently, I must admit, but hopefully patiently. All right, do I have any other announcements that I need to make? Any more flyers back there? No? Anything else? I think that's it. Registration for fall semester in Rabata will be in August when we're doing the trip. So when we're on the Hope Trip, registration will be open. So wherever you are, you can follow us on the Hope Trip on social media, and you'll be able to register at that time as well. And don't forget. Oh yeah, okay, sure. So and don't forget that we also will have the literary conference in October in Houston. So if we have that flyer, I think we have a flyer. If we have that flyer, you can pull that up as well. And I see a question here. What does Rabata mean? That's a great question. Actually, I also want to tell you that we have a brand new website. So if you go to our brand new website at rabata.org, you are going to find a beautiful new website. And we have a whole essay there about what Rabata means. It's a verb, and it's a root word for many important words. But one of the things it means is to gather together, which is one of the reasons that I love it. And the Tajweed class, we did end up having to cancel that for the summer, but the Arabic classes are still on. Highly recommend them. And the dates for the literary conference. Could we have the dates for the literary conference, please? Yes, there's a conversation class. Excellent. And then we've got the author marketing webinar on August 12th. So that's exciting too. There's an online webinar through Daybreak Press. Daybreak Press is always on top of things, let me tell you. And we need that probably as well. So it looks like we're missing our Daybreak Press flyers. Either we can pull them up or else we'll just put them on our Facebook page. All right, so the Shawwal fasting. Can we get rid of the flyers that are here now or just make them a little bit smaller so I can answer the question of fasting that I promised that I would answer? The fasting of Shawwal. What I'm going to do is read you the essay because it's short and it answers the question, if you don't mind. The fasting of Shawwal, week 40 in Joy Jats. Now that the Eid cookies are mere crumbs and we have caught up on our sleep, we look to begin the fasting of Shawwal. The Prophet ﷺ said, whoever fasts Ramadan and 6 days of Shawwal, it is though he has fasted the whole year. That's amazing, right? Saam sana kullaha. If we look at the hadith mathematically and keep in mind that deeds are multiplied tenfold, we see that Ramadan multiplied by 10 equals 10 months. 6 days of Shawwal multiplied by 10 equals 60 days or 2 months. So together, mathematically, this equals 12 months or an entire year, as the Prophet ﷺ said. It is a blessed and generous reward. May we be able to reach it. For women who have 7 to 15 days of fard fasting to make up, the additional 6 days can seem daunting, especially since there will be a portion of Shawwal that cannot be fasted when she has her period again. Hence the questions begin. Can I do my sunnah fast before my fard fast? Can I combine my intention to fast with my qada fard days with the intention of the sunnah of Shawwal? The simple answer to the second question is that the majority of scholars in this case do not permit the combination of two intentions. However, as in everything in Islamic law, there is much ease if we look for various opinions. According to the Hanafi and Maliki schools of thought, whoever fasts 6 days of Shawwal gains the reward of fasting these voluntary fasts, whether they fast them before or after the qada fast of Ramadan. So, for Hanafi and Maliki, you can go ahead and fast them in the days of Shawwal and fast your qada later. They, Hanafi and Maliki, have understood the hadith of the Prophet simply as encouragement in hastening to voluntary fasts, whether in Shawwal or at other times. They have interpreted the intention of the hadith as not to restrict the voluntary fast to Shawwal, rather that voluntary fasts are possible in any month. The important thing is the fasting of the month of Ramadan plus 6 extra days. In fact, for the Malikis, you can fast them any time in the year. In the Shafi'i, and Hanbali schools, it is compulsory to make up all the fasts owing from Ramadan first, and then to fast the 6 days of Shawwal in the month of Shawwal specifically, according to that which is mentioned in the hadith, since the hadith mentions the month of Shawwal specifically. Here, there is also emphasis on the idea that the Ramadan fast must be complete before moving on to the reward of the 6 days of Shawwal. Focusing on the qada fast could mean that some women would miss out on even 1 day of Shawwal sunnah fasting. So if one fasts her qada in Shawwal as opposed to delaying it in order to gain the reward of fasting in the month of Shawwal, does she indeed gain this reward? Ar-Ramli of the Shafi'i school was asked whether a person who had fasts owing from Ramadan and made them up in Shawwal had fulfilled the qada of Ramadan and gained the reward of the 6 days of Shawwal. He answered that he had fulfilled his qada and gained the reward of the 6 days of Shawwal. But this is not a combining of intention. One does not say, I intend to fast my qada prayers from Ramadan and a day of sunnah from Shawwal. The combined intention is what the majority of the scholars disapprove of. Islam encourages crispness in our intention. It encourages clarity in our deeds. So here, she is intending to make up her qada fast first, in keeping with her school of thought, but she is doing them in the month of Shawwal rather than delaying them because it is a blessed month of fasting, and the Prophet ﷺ encouraged us to fast 6 days of the month. Thus, whatever school of thought you follow, fasting in Shawwal is both important and greatly rewarded. May we be of those whom the Prophet ﷺ referred to as having the reward of a full year of fasting. Ameen. That was week 40, page 199 to 201. All right, thank you very much. And I really enjoyed being with you this month, and I will be with you again next month for our monthly open halaqah. Again, as an open halaqah, you do not have to be a Rabata student to join. Anyone may join, and you may invite anyone you like to join this monthly halaqah. It is on the whatever Sunday of the month we are in right now. Is this the 3rd or 2nd Sunday of the month? Whatever it is when it is. Is it the 2nd? My dear sweet admins? 2nd, all right. All right, have a lovely day and happy day as well. May you find your journey of mercy full of mercy and love and faith and hope. May you be strengthened by all of the sails of pillars in your life. And may you find energy and strength to reach out to others and get them on your boat. Assalamu alaikum.